Good afternoon, students. Today we will see about valvular heart disease. So there are basically four kind of valves which are available anatomically and physiologically in the heart. The name itself is a mitral valve, which is a millinar valve, or a two-cusp tricuspid valve, which is having a three cusp or three leaves. Then aortic valve and pulmonary valve. Now the mitral valve will be there on the left side of the heart, that is between the left atria and left ventricle. Tricuspid valve will be there on the right side, that will be on the right atrium and right ventricle. The word itself says aortic valve will be when the aorta is beginning from the left ventricle, from where it getting supplied to the different part of the body, and pulmonary valve will be in the right ventricle, from where all deoxygenated blood is going into the pulmonary circulation for filtration, that is called as pulmonary valve. Now there are number of diseases which are affecting directly over the heart, which can be divided either the valve is go for stenotic changes or it is go for regurgitation. So that are basically 8 kind of disease: mitral valve, regurgitation and stenosis, same way aortic valve, stenosis and regurgitation, then tricuspid valve, stenosis and regurgitation, then pulmonary stenosis and regurgitation. Now what is stenosis? Stenosis is basically a decrease in the diameter of the valve to open, so the volume will be affected coming from the upper or lower chambers of the heart. Same way regurgitations mean there will be half closure or semi closure of the valve, and because of that there will be leaking of blood back, and again there is a problem of same volume disturbances. And because of this adhesion and contracture, it will develop the funnel shape valve, which become narrow in the diameter, and because of that there will be obstruction in the blood flow from the left side of atrium to the left side of ventricle through the mitral valve. And because of there is a pressure difference happen between the left atrium and left ventricle during the diastole, whenever the heart is going for diastole, and there is a filling of the ventricles, because in the systole there will be pumping of the blood from the left side in the to the systemic circulation, and from the right side it will be in the pulmonary circulation. And because of increase in the pressure and volume inside the left atrium, because the blood is not passing into the atrium ventricle well, and there will be keep on rising on the pressures as well as volume also, and because of this increase in the pressure on the pulmonary vasculature from where the blood is coming from the filtration, and because of that there will be a certain amount of hypertrophy develop on the pulmonary vessels, especially the pulmonary vein which carrying the oxygenated blood, which leads to development of certain amount of chronic congestion, and because of that exertional dyspnea due to pulmonary collapse. Because of there will be congestion in the pulmonary system, there will be patient will have a certain amount of effect on the dyspnea, and because of that there will be development of certain amount of hypertension in the pulmonary circulation, which leads to develop ultimately back pressure on the right side of ventricle from where the blood is coming back, and leads to development of certain amount of respiratory ventricular right side ventricular failure. Now what will be the clinical manifestation? So there will be dyspnea or exertion, orthopnea while lying on the supine, patient will have a breathing problem, and PND, nocturnal dyspnea, persistent nocturnal dyspnea, then acute pulmonary edema will be seen, and uncontrolled atrial fibrillation also will be noted. Any kind of physical exertion will have a fatigue, and fatigue is just because of decrease in the cardiac output, because the lack of blood is coming from the left atrium to the left ventricle, so the output is decreased, and because of output decrease it does not supply the demand is produced or induced by the physical exertion or any kind of exercise activity which is not in routine, and it can be tolerated in the mild and moderate cases, but in case of severe cases there will be development of certain amount of hemoptysis, and ultimately there will be damage in the capillary of the alveoli, and it's become pink, or it is also known as the pulmonary edema, and because of that after the capillary rupture there will be damage of the bronchial vein, and there will be a large amount of hemorrhage will happen, and which will have a production of the hemoptysis. There will be fresh blood or the blood clots will be found in the sputum. Then the blood sustains sputum with the chronic bronchitis, then will leads to development of the certain amount of effect on the laryngeal nerve, which leads to development of your changing your voice box and leads to development of hoarseness of voice. And because of the laryngeal edema there will be esophageal compression and leads to develop one dysphagia, difficulty in eating, and ultimately there will be one side of the lung, mostly the left side of a pulmonary bronchus will go for a compression and leads to development of left side of respiratory compliance is decreased and it's become collapse. This is how the cardiac causes or cardiac changes in the anatomy or physiology will ultimately because of the pressure gradient mechanisms, even though there is a non direct damage in the respiratory systems or respiratory bronchioles are not affected, but just because of the chronicity of the disease and pressure gradient system it will be affecting your respiration too. So today we will see one by one. So today we will see about an mitral stenosis. So mitral valve is basically it is present on the left side of the heart from the between the left atrium and left ventricle, and because of stenosis the full amount of the blood which is coming from the pulmonary circulation into the left atrium will not pass in the left ventricle, and because of lack of volume in the left ventricle it is going to be lack in the peripheral circulation, and because of that volume of the blood will be disturbance, and simultaneously as the time passes there will be changes in the pressures of ventricle itself. We will see how what are the basic etiology for that. So most commonly it is because of any kind of rheumatoid disorders or systemic lupus erythematosus. These are the two diseases which is affected, and obviously there is a less chances of congenital damage, that is already by birth the child is having certain amount of phenotype, but it is not necessary that all the time that it will be diagnosed in the early age only. Many times after the 30 years or 40 years of the age it will be go for diagnose, or it will, when the symptoms will arise and the patient will have a certain kind of pathology will be found. Now we will see the pathophysiology. So because of the either kind of endocarditis, because of the rheumatisms and other causes of the stenosis of the mitral valve, there will be the valve leaflet will become scarring, and the muscles which is attached with that is a papillary muscles and chorda tendineae, which will develop a certain amount of contracture, and because of that contracture between adhesion will happen in between the two leaflets, and the adhesion between the two leaflets will have a thickening of the valve, and because of that shortening of the structure it leads to development of